You're always looking in the wrong spot. Both of us were like, oh, and then neither of us got butthurt about anything.
Yeah, riding hard, put a boy wet.
Welcome to the Deadzone podcast. Deadzone is the sci-fi tabletop miniature skirmish game from Mantic Games. And now, here are your hosts, Rob Harper and Jack Pike. And I am your announcer, William Randolph Wintergreen.
Welcome to the 16th episode of Deadzone the podcast. In this episode, we have a look at Mantic Open Day and discuss what we've been up to hobby-wise. As always, you can go to deadzonegame.podbean.com to see all the pictures. And now on to the show. So, we find ourselves here again.
Once again in the studio to record the Deadzone podcast. Hi, my name is Jack.
I'm Rob, and this is episode 16.
16.
Time marches on.
It does. It stops for no man.
It's true. Tempest Fugitive.
Keeps on ticking. Ticking.
Into the future.
It does.
So this episode we're going to be talking about Mantic Games Open Day 2014. Happened on May 17th?
May 17th. Sounds good.
A little while ago. But we're going to go over a lot of pictures. We had some people there taking pictures for us, plus we found some others. And we'll have a discussion about everything. A lot of new stuff showing on there. Good. Mostly we're going to focus on the Deadzone stuff. There was a lot of Dreadball. There was a lot of new skirmish game by Mantic. Fantasy skirmish game. A lot of Mars Tech stuff. But we're going to focus on...
we're going to keep to what we do.
Otherwise we'd be here forever.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank... we'll do shout-outs first because a lot of the shout-outs are to thank people over these pictures. So...
yeah, we'll make sure we thank those who sent along the pictures before we delve right in. Make sure we gotta keep our keep everything
copacetic,
legit,
too legit to quit.
Yeah.
So first one we gotta like to thank G-Morts Chaotica. I talked to him on Twitter, and I lamented the fact I couldn't be at Mantic's Open Day, so he promised to take some pictures for us. So he took quite a few pictures.
And that's the G-Morts Chaotica. That was the he had a kind of a encyclopedia of the various things he was collecting, aggregating a bunch of stuff, Deadzone related, and that was a very interesting site.
And he's got a blog, and you can link to it will be in on deadzonegame.podbean.com. The full link to his Open Day blog. It's got a lot more pictures than even we're going to be talking about, because like I said, we're just going to be talking about the Deadzone stuff. You can go on to Twitter. He's Gmorts_Chaotica on Twitter, too. And we also got a lot of pictures from a anonymous person called Fisty Glue Man. You can go to Twitter. He's Fisty Glue Man on Twitter. And he's also got a Imager blog there.
No.
We'll put the link to that.
No. Fisty Glue Man was a glue bottle with two fists.
He took a lot of pictures at Mantic Open Day for us.
No, I'm calling shenanigans. I'm going to say the internet's lying to you.
No.
Don't trust everything you see on the internet.
Fisty Glue Man took pictures, and now we're going to show some.
Okay, well, I'm skeptical. I'm going to keep a distance from this. I don't trust.
I don't trust. So, on to these pictures. First of all, we got a great look at some of the Asterians in a cabinet, plus the Plague Strider in the background there, plus the Forge Fathers in the other corner there.
Plus, on the right-hand side, there's two...
Oh, yep, the zombies, yep. We'll get some better pictures of all these
two zombies. Oh, there's the Dr. Simmons on the left-hand side.
Yeah, these are all the mercs over there.
Okay.
But we'll have some better pictures. This one mostly is focusing on the Asterians here.
Nice smattering of models from the Deadzone.
And, there's the Asterians. They're looking good. It looks a little more yellow there. I like the yellow and blue. Before it looked beige. I didn't like the beige, but this looks like yellow. The yellow and blue look cool together, actually.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's a nice looking model. I'm looking at the Strider.
We'll get to him. We'll get to him.
Okay.
You've been distracted. Here's a great picture of it's a what do they call them? The resin. What do they call when it models? You know, like just the...
the positive that you would use to get the mold?
Yeah, kind of like, the sculpt. Like I think it's done by computer printing, like...
3D printed?
3D printed. But it's the Infiltrator bike with the sniper on it. One wheeled still. It's cool looking.
And to the left of that is the sniper off the bike.
Yeah, we got a better picture for
a mobile... okay.
So there's a front view of the sniper on the bike. It's fun. It's just, I wish I had two wheels. And there she is off the bike. She reminds me of Recon a bit. Same kind of armor. She's a scout like Recon. So.
Interesting.
And next we have, this is the Corporation Strider with his arms off, but it's a good look at him. He looks awesome. Doesn't that look cool?
It does look cool. It's got a robot. It looks like a robot.
A robot?
It's got a. I don't know. I like the paint job. I like the design.
Yeah.
I like everything.
I wish I could paint this good because he looks awesome.
But what's that up to the right hand corner
there?
Yeah, there's a ghost.
I think it's like a. I don't know if it's a clear. I think it's Blaine of all people, but I'm not sure if maybe that's for Mars Techs.
Blaine's ghost.
Maybe you can turn invisible or something. Cloaking.
Oh,
I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just a clear resin picture.
You're
always looking in the wrong spot. He's supposed to be looking at the Strider, and he's looking at the background.
No, but that's how I am. I look. I'm vigilant.
So here's the Forge Fathers. We saw the concept of similar the leader of these guys, the Bjarn Stormfall. But this is the actual Forge Fathers. Like I say, they look a lot bulkier than the Warpath Forge Fathers.
We're back in the cabinet of the original picture, but now we're starting to focus on certain things, and that's the Forge Fathers in a kind of... all these are painted. Please go to the website and take a look and see. Follow along with us with these. Painted in a kind of like a earth tones type.
Where I went with more metallics for mine.
And they've gotten some... they've painted some lights on there and did the the lighting effect around it. It's nice. It's nice.
Here's some more terrain from the day. Probably, this is a lot of that. It's destroyed terrain and open. Like somebody says, when I see terrain like this, when it's open like that, and somebody pointed out perfectly, it reminds me of a paintball field. Doesn't it? It's like...
With that paint job, because that paint job is very splotchy, so it does it. Not like a paintball, like a speedball arena.
Yeah, like a nice arena. Like a really nice one, but still. That's why I like our buildings to be solid, you know? Our
buildings to be solid, and I think the aesthetics of this wouldn't match our aesthetics. It's nice, don't get me wrong. It's nice, but it doesn't
Here's
match.
Here's another angle of it. I do like some of it. It's just the colors are not great. Here's a cool red one. These are all just people playing on demoing the Deadzone on the day on these boards. It's neat. It's a nice red, nice dark red.
It's just I like that. Just sitting at Mantic playing.
Yeah, at the open day here.
Deadzone.
They had there's a picture of the whole place. They had about probably over 10 tables full of Deadzone. Just demoing it and playing it.
It's too bad. That'd have been something to do.
Here's a decayed one. It's got like moss all over it. And
that one is nice.
It's pretty cool. I think a lot of these might be people bringing them in too.
Well, that's someone who did something I'd never have thought to do, but he's actually taken the mat and done...
Yeah, actually sprayed on the mat. Actually, it might not even be the mat. It looks like almost like a piece of wood that he's just put a grid on.
No, look at the corners. They've got the rounded corners. It's got the black.
I don't see any of the things though on it, like the
manholes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Either the buildings are on them, or he covered them up with.
I don't know.
The vast amounts of. I wonder. Someone might know.
Because look back there. That's the real mat. See that it's got that triangle. I think this is just a piece of board they put down that he did it onto, so he could spray it and. It's neat.
Made his own lines,
so he could carry it strong, so he could carry the whole thing at once, right? The whole board.
I don't know.
I like the color scheme of this one actually. For some reason, the yellow. I would never paint my stuff yellow, but when it does done yellow, it looks really neat. It looks industrial,
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
And look at he's got one of the support struts stuck out in the middle of that's interesting. That's
instead of using it on a tower.
Yeah, and then a broken lamppost there. They've taken they've taken the bits and mixed them up a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Used them to the limit. A little
inventive.
Sign. Like you said, when we first got there, we got it early, so we did basic stuff with it. Over time, you can see the stuff people are doing with it. It's pretty amazing.
Look at the one in the top left-hand corner there. They built an alcove with walls. They put an exterior door in one section, so there's like a little alcove where someone could stand in. And
yeah, it's cool. And I think this is the same one, different angle. Oh, maybe not. No, is it the same one? Yeah, I think it is. Yes. We just never saw this from that angle. That's pretty cool. Neato Bito. And here's a nice blue one. Once again, people doing some neat, just with how they're using the terrain is neat. Like, they're doing some cool things you'd never expect, you know?
No, like an open top along the one side, the left side. There's, I'd be happy to play on any of these.
Oh yeah.
To go to one of these things and bust out an army.
This is the official Mantic one. That's how you can tell this one's a lot bigger. Look at this like trench they did in it, and like
they coated the outside of the trench with the
walls,
the walls, so it's got the same aesthetic. And
yeah, this one's you can tell this is the one that they used to demo it. It's pretty awesome.
How high?
Look at this too. Look at
from the bottom of that trench to the top of that platform there. How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 levels. That's the 5th level. It's tall.
1, 2,
this is 1.
3,
that's 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, 6. I'm gonna go with 6.
Yeah.
That's some varied gameplay. You could really.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I like how they use the single bridge as double. It's kind of neat. So you get that texture, but it's double side. And then you get blown off top over here. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
pretty neat.
You can tell that's a pro though. That's you're not
and unlimited supplies too.
No rinky-dink operation like what you got going on.
So here's a close-up of the Plague Strider, looking good, looking all plagued out. You can see the little guy in there.
Yep, with the cockpit that I would use if that was
the Bastion one.
But good, like again the paint jobs.
Look how tall he is too. He's probably double the height of a normal guy. Big robot. Bigger than the Striders in Dreadwall. Like, we expect him to be about the same size as that. It's much bigger.
No, that's a big robot.
And here's the bits, the Strider bits that come with it. 2 different guys. That's the open cockpit pit that's not damaged, like almost like the from Aliens. Different bits, flags and stuff. Cool. And here's those zombies you're wondering about.
Yep.
They're looking good. They look like almost like vampires, but I like the uniforms on them. It looks like Corporation Marines that got turned into zombies,
which is nice. That they're not just zombies. They're zombies that fit into the world. Like they're a part of. It's organic.
Yeah.
They didn't just slap some tattered clothes on a guy and go, "Hey, that's a zombie." We happen to have a sprue of these things laying around.
Yeah, for sure. And last is, this is actually for another shout out to our buddy from last episode, Micke Lind from Sweden. He sent us a cool picture on Twitter. He's Thero_83 on Twitter. And he sent a picture of his finished plagues. He went with the very pink, but they look good.
Look at the way he did the weapons.
Yeah, they look really good.
He went with almost like a bubblegum pink.
Yeah, very bright pink, but then the earth tones of the clothes look cool.
I went with the all business black, and that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, look at those guns. Those guns look awesome, and the clothes. And
yeah, really.
Like
nice.
We've said, we're not a big fan of the pink, but he did it nice contrast with it.
He went, very cartoonish to very it's very good, very good. Now, it shows him with the paints in the background. I don't know what
those are Citadel paints from
brand
Games Workshop.
Okay,
that you can tell because they're they're almost like paint pots instead of squeeze ones like nowadays.
Well, I have a Citadel paint and
from 1982.
I really like it. Yes, it's the red that I use.
Says something for Citadel paints that it's still good. So, so there's that. That was Mantic Open Day, visually. And by all accounts, it was a great time. Like, everybody, all the reports on Twitter and on Facebook, everybody loved going, and we do have to go someday. I said when they invent teleporters, we'll be there. Just teleport over, come back one day.
I'm with Bones on this one. I wouldn't trust the technology.
You are a crotchety old surgeon. I
am crotchety and old, but my medical license was revoked. Experiments and such.
So, on that note, let's take a small commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we'll discuss some other thingies.
What are we going to discuss?
Well, you'll find out when we get back.
Okay, let's all sit through this commercial.
You have been listening to the Deadzone podcast with your hosts Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Deadzone is the tabletop game from Mantic Games. Please visit them at manticgames.com.
And we're back.
Aren't you glad you sat through that commercial? That was awesome.
That 20 seconds of delight from Wintergreen. I keep trying to call him Wintermute because I'm reading Necromancer, the book, and there's a Wintermute.
Oh.
But he's not. He's Wintergreen. Wintermute's his cousin.
You're just making stuff up now. You're deceiving our listeners. You're a deceiver.
Wow. Wintergreen may rest in peace. He's not dead yet, is he?
No, he's not dead yet.
Damn it. Anyways, this segment...
Well, who knows? We are recording this in advance, so...
don't even talk that way. Poor pathetic Wintergreen.
He is old and brittle and frail.
And so this segment, we're just going to talk about what we've been up to. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
It's up to you. You're on the show. You're executive producer. You're the director. You're the soundboard engineer. You're
Fine, I'll go first.
okay.
So I had a bunch of Warpath Forge Fathers from the Crazy Boxes, and I decided to modify them up because I didn't want them to look like the other Warpath Forge Fathers I have. So I did a bunch of crazy mods to them. There's a nice picture of them. And then I primed them up, and I gave them to Jack to paint. So we'll see what happens when Jack paints them up. This is our first combined effort. I did the building, Jack does the painting.
Yeah.
I painted the one in the middle. I think we'll see that later. And he went a little. I went a little bright with him. I wanted to try something different. I'm usually a very dark painter, and I think he turned out a little too Warhammer fantasy bright.
And you've had a considerable amount of models to paint for. You've been purchasing at a regular pace. So when I had mentioned that I had finished up all of my painting,
I was like, "Here, you're taking these." I
when
didn't even
you
give him a
arrived
choice.
at the studio, you had a box full of things to paint. So
And also from the Crazy Boxes, we had lots of Marauders, so I modified them up. Made some crazy weapons, and one guy's got two power claws, and one guy's got 2 pistols. This guy's got a rifle. This guy got a rifle. The 2 of them were drivers for the Raptors. This guy gave big chainsaw to, and big rocket launcher. Well, I went crazy.
Yeah, we'll see what the stats for that chainsaw.
Well, I assume we'd use him as a Ripper suit.
Circular saw monstrosity, but
you can use him as a Ripper suit. He's just smaller. And it's funny, a lot of discussion about how these orcs look different. We used to talk about how they look different from the Commando orcs. And I guess that the way they're saying is that the Warpath orcs are younglings. They're like the young orcs that they just send out to battle, and if they survive, then they slowly become commandos as they age. So these are young orcs. That's why the Warpath orcs look different.
Oh.
That's kind of neat that they figured out a way to why they look different. So
I
there you
could
go.
Still pop their heads off and add
Gas masks.
Gas masks, but
I
hey.
discussed last time. And here's a few Dreadball. They're actually Enforcer. I think they're Enforcer Corporation team females, but I use them for Forge Fathers, and I gave them some weapons. And she's a leader because she's pointing.
Yes, she doesn't have her foot up on a box, which calls into question her ability to lead, but
she's only a sergeant. Only the generals get their foot up on the box.
Oh, okay, that's.
So yeah, I gave them some weapons, and we'll see how I do. Because once again, I had 3 of these, 1 Dreadball MVP, so I had to make some different stuff with them.
And until your corporation replacements of your reinforcements arrive,
My enforcers,
you'll be probably playing with some
we'll try to Forge Fathers sometime.
Forge Fathers or something like that. So
here's a group of my Teratons with the 2 girls and the bike and the APC there on my shelf.
Yep.
And here's that dwarf I painted up, the Forge Father. Very bright. He looks alright though. He's alright.
I know you're not happy with him, but he looks good.
He looks alright. I'm not crazy. Well, once again, I'm not crazy about Forge Fathers in general. And here's the Raptor I built, and you can see it's very, very cherry. I was going to make it all beat up and weathered, but I decided that I like the cherry look to him with this chromed out. So he's very shiny. And then I dulled up the wheels and the metal bits.
So it's not new off the lot, brand new, but it certainly hasn't taken a beating yet.
Yeah, shinied up. It's got cherry. Whichever Marauder owns this 3-wheeler, he takes good care of it.
He gets the Karuba car wax on there and makes sure it details. Okay.
So that's what I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Well, as we discussed in the last episode of the Deadzone podcast, the replacements for the Plague Hounds that
that legs didn't make transit.
No, they've got very thin little ankles and
delicate. They have waif like.
Yes, bird bones in their canine extremities, and so there was some fatalities from the original lot, and Mantic did in good faith replace those. So this time we went clear plastic bases with most of our miniatures, but the replacement itself already had some stress. The plastic turned white on the ankle, and I was already kind of concerned. I didn't want to go for ruining model, so I decided to base both of these. I used the hot water trick to manipulate the limbs so that they were both as many limbs on the ground as possible, strong.
Glue points.
Yeah, so I painted those two plague hounds. I based them. You'll see the pictures. One of them
got some fire going on the base there.
Has some fire beside him. The other one has a little bit of a dribble problem.
Yep, we got a close up on the drool there.
We'll show you that. And then, as anyone who's been listening to the podcast and my lamenting over the one model that I was not happy with the sculpt.
Yeah, literally probably the only one model, right?
Yeah, for me the plague was done well. The Type 3s are what they are, but the 1A is a really nice.
Oh, it's the best
model, and the Teratons are nice.
That 1A is my favorite out of everything.
Yeah, so they're nice sculpts, but the plague swarm.
Yeah.
It was a
good idea, but it was way too hard to turn into something that looked good.
The sculpt, it was
just too much mush together.
It was mushed.
Yeah.
There was the base of it was
the concept of like rats and worms,
worms,
centipedes,
slugs.
The concept of them all being together because it's just plagued out and they just turn into a swarm and come at you. That's cool, but
it's interesting.
It didn't get portrayed on the model as well as it could have.
Didn't translate well for me. And I tried to paint it once and I was unhappy.
You had two of these. You had two plague swarms.
Yes, and you're jumping the gun a bit. But what happened was I had mentioned this previous podcasts, probably 2 or 3 times, that one day I was going to, when it was its time, that there was going to be a modified plague swarm.
There was going to be a reckoning.
There was a plague swarm
reckoning,
and I took the wrath of God and I went to town, and what I did was 2 of those plague swarms are now 1.
And how did you do this? How did you accomplish this?
Well, if you take a look at the picture, we're going to show the picture there. It's going to be the painted.
It looks awesome.
I cut away slugs, rats.
Used a Dremel?
Everything. Yeah, I took away everything from one of them that I didn't want and made kind of a shell, a base of all of the centipedes coming out. Then I took the other one and basically cut away everything and made individual centipedes and millipedes and whatever else that I wanted. I then made it looks like concrete being burst out, and it's pieces from the top of one of the buildings. You know how I had taken away
you cut out the middles of put the screens on
the tops, and I had that, and it matches obviously it's going to match the scenery, so those pieces I broke those open like it was coming up,
like you see in the picture. Yeah,
I created mud as though they'd burst out from underneath
How'd you make the mud?
It is silicone.
Oh, you use silicone again? You love your silicone.
I do love silicone.
Where'd you get the silicone anyway?
I got tons of silicone. Yeah, as a homeowner, you can't not have silicone.
Oh, just like the caulking?
Yeah, this stuff was brown exterior silicone I used.
I didn't know how it came, but now you say that it makes sense. It's just caulk.
And so I made mud, and then I glued in the singular pieces in and created a kind of a 360 worms bursting
awesome.
Up and out the centipedes, and I'm happy with it. And not to monopolize time, but it was the first time that since I had painted all my other plague, I had done a little testing with washes on 2 of the models.
Secret weapon washes there?
Secret weapon washes, but I had not. I'd stuck pretty much to my dry brush, like good 5-6 coatings.
Yeah.
Of some of them, like the Plague 1, I probably 14 different just dry brushes.
Over and over
again. For this Plague Swarm is the first time I used washes.
And it looks amazing. It's a quantum leap from like some of your other stuff. And your other stuff's not bad. I'm just saying this looks amazing.
Yeah.
This looks like studio quality.
And I'm going to say, well, I wouldn't go that far.
I think it does. You've got every little eye pointed in there perfectly, and it is amazing.
But I am going to say that I am going to discard a lot of my Walmart kids paintbrushes that were meant to buy as a party favor, and the wash is really.
Can I get some sable?
I've got some other good paintbrushes that I've picked up but they're not sable now. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still cheap.
Sable's not that expensive.
But I was thrilled, and washes.
They look stunning.
Secret weapon. I'm glad I dropped $80.
Yeah, you went crazy and bought every single wash they had
just to get like their starter kit, because I didn't, not having done it before, I didn't know what I needed.
It's a good point. Like I did that with the regular paints too. I just bought the Army Painter set because I didn't know which ones I'd need, and now you see which ones you use more. And...
Yeah, so I'll order selectively next time. But secret weapon washes, oh my god! Just I was in the dark ages. I was like a primitive.
You're that washes or it showed your true talent.
I've seen the Black Monolith. I've taken up a femur, and I'm now smashing other monkeys.
Yeah, he's been born again thanks to secret weapons.
Yeah, so that's basically what I did. I did the two plague hounds, the replacement plague hounds. I did the new modified swarm, which will that rounds out, that completes everything I got with the original thing now. So my next army will be we'll showcase now the swarm. We've never used them before. I'm going to do that, and a lot of plague hounds. So
yeah, you got quite a few plague hounds now.
So that's what I've been up to.
Very cool. And we'll take another short break. We'll have a little message from one of our friends,
one of our pals, one of our confidants,
and we'll be right back.
We will now take a moment for an important message.
This is the Strike Zone.
Yo, Dreadball fans, the Strike Zone podcast is all about entertaining, educating, and informing you about everything Dreadball. We record twice a month, are an hour long, and are child-friendly. You can look us up on iTunes with the keywords Dreadball and Strike Zone, or on our main website, www.warmoreradio.com.
Enter the Strike Zone.
Welcome back to the Deadzone podcast.
And welcome back. And before we start recording, I did put out a shout-out to on Twitter for anyone to have a question for us.
And no one possibly could have...
Oh, you were wrong.
What?
Our buddy Liam Hall, Monkey Kung Fu.
Monkey Kung Fu!
He's back.
He was... he made both our clip show, and he's been on our shout-outs.
He actually asked us two questions. The first one I'll address to you. He said, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
If he could... I would say that a woodchuck, statistically, and I'm just going on my knowledge of woodchucks, which is pretty. I didn't know. I don't think he knows that my knowledge of woodchucks is both well-rounded and.
You are a woodchuck specialist.
I'm not even going to go to my bookshelf to get my tome of woodchuck,
or even into the other room to see your woodchuck that you actually own.
Well, he's not been feeling well.
Oh no.
Yeah, I made him chuck 16 cords of wood.
Is that more than a woodchuck would normally chuck?
That is more than a woodchuck could chuck. So we're going to go with a conservative 14, but if you want to ride him hard, put him away wet. He got 16. He got 16 last weekend, so I got enough wood chuck now to...
Nice. Anyways, Liam's actual question is, what are you most looking forward to in Wave 2?
He must have listened to our early May episode where we had discussed that.
I don't know anymore. It's all confusing. I don't remember when anything was. I don't remember yesterday.
That's because we've been drinking in the studio again.
Yeah.
We say we're not going to do it, but every time.
We do it.
All of a sudden there's bourbon and beer
and rum.
Whiskey.
Anyways, Phase 2, Plague Strider, probably. I think, now seeing them after Romantic Open Day, the Plague Enforcer Strider is probably what I'm looking forward to. It looks awesome. Although the zombies look pretty cool. Asterians, we're getting some Asterians. It's something, but there's also things we haven't seen yet, like the Plague Enforcer or some other things like that.
I'm going Strider.
That Plague Strider is awesome.
Yeah.
Those Striders are amazing.
Strider. I think both having a Strider on the field, is going to...
I don't know how they even fit on the field. They're so big.
Yeah, when we design
a board... They might just be like, okay, I can't get through there.
When we design a board, we do, it's filled.
It's pretty much one square alleyways, almost.
Like, I have one Type 2 that his stance was wide, like a Republican in an airport bathroom. And
I was wondering where that was going.
Follow with me. So I used a wide clear base, and I've yet to be able to use them because
you're one stage 2, it's
so
just too
much.
Big,
so my Plague Swarm might be the same thing.
Yeah, but
I can only imagine how big it's a good over twice as big as.
But it might be 3-inch 3x3 bottom, right? So it might just fit in one square.
Yeah, but with the big
it's the height
arms
that
stuff,
might be.
I'm just talking literally moving it around the board. But to answer your question, Liam, it would be 16 cords of wood.
No, only if you're hard. 14 was the official.
Oh, okay, yes. Percival might not make it through, and you'll be sorry if he doesn't.
Oh, you'll be sorry.
Oh, my vengeance will be swift. Anyways, no, my answer is the Strider. The Strider. I think it'll just be interesting to see what they can do, see how they play, and it's a nice looking piece. We just looked at them from the open house there.
Yeah,
so.
it's seeing those Striders in the flesh, as it were. It's that's really raised my hope, or not even hope, but like expectations.
Expectations, yeah. Not that we have them coming to us in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they're coming in July. We're getting 2 Striders.
Yeah. Again, your purse strings.
No, that was well, I guess it was. But it should be fun. Those Striders look awesome.
Yeah.
That might be definitely have to change the board a bit to play them. Just to let them be able to get through places.
But I do think that once you have the manpower, once you've got your enforcers and stuff, we've already
bigger boards.
Yeah, bigger boards, bigger fielding, bigger units and stuff like that, bigger point counts. The Striders will fit in by then. I think we'll have upped our game. We'll be confident in our mercs. We'll be confident in bigger point armies.
And we'll have to figure out stats for the Marauder Raptors and the APC for my enforcers and the Firefly.
It can't be that long before Mantic hears your pleas when you
make more stat cards.
You gnash your teeth and shake your fists at the gods and swallow your jewels, and they'll hear your cries for vehicles, and then you just use that stat card there.
Yeah, we can use it as proxies, but for that, but even the Warpath, when the Warpath Kickstarter does eventually come, might not be Dreadball, or sorry, not Dreadball. Although an APC and Dreadball might be interesting. Hey,
they're cheating. Ref, that's a vehicle.
The ref is underneath the vehicle, but no, in Deadzone, they might not have stats for Deadzone vehicles. Like they're purposely doing it to make me cry.
Yes, yeah.
Put stat cards out. God.
There was almost uncharacteristic anger. Rob, you're the kind one.
Yeah, I just want stat cards for everything. I can understand why they don't do it, because they want to do different models maybe for everything.
All I ask is stat cards for everything.
Yeah.
So that's so wrong.
Well, people will make them, or will make them. People have already done it. There's Vermin stat cards and Corporation Marine stat cards, which is cool.
If there's a vacuum that the company, and this isn't just for Mantic, but any company, if it's a fan base that's big enough and creative enough, which miniature wargaming does have a fan base that's big enough and creative enough, by definition, creative enough. If you leave a vacuum, it will be filled, and it will be filled very well. Numerous people will do it, and eventually the best will rise to the top.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's already people making cards that look... Well, I know there's people making cards that are different from the Deadzone cards that are like cleared in different way they're set up.
It'll be done very swiftly and very well. So, Mantic, your best bet is to either jump on or take that approach and say, we're going to make it official and get it done. Or, fans, we're gonna eventually adopt what you've done. But, so yeah, go to town.
I was reading for the game Dust Tactics and Dust Warfare. One of the fans just started making cards for Dust Warfare because it just used to have stacked like army lists kind of, and somebody just started making cards for it, and now Dust has adopted almost exactly those cards for the game. So I assume that's what's going to happen for Mantic. Well, they'll realize that people demand these cards, and they'll just make decks of them. Like that's. Once again, Dust is doing is making just decks of cards.
We've discussed this before. A good creative fan base can do a lot of your R&D for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's been proven already, just with Jake listening to the fans.
He does a very good job of that. His website, he does a very good job. And they've got a lot of irons in the fire right now with the different games and stuff. They can't concentrate on everything at all times. So why not let people who enjoy it and people who get it and people who want to be a part of it, a community, let them do, and it'll
obviously these things won't be official in tournaments, which I don't think there is many Deadzone tournaments, but the idea of tournaments just makes me ill anyways, really. You should just be playing for fun, not to beat somebody, you know?
There's plenty of people who are competitive in that regard, who want to, teach their own. So it's a big, brave new world out there.
Yep. So I think that pretty much covered Liam's question there.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Thanks
14
thanks
chords.
a lot, Liam, and yeah, we'll. Oh, we got another message here.
We've got another one. Someone else from Twitter has decided to you've sent out your into the ether your requests for human contact, and who now has returned that?
Well, we just have a comment from our friend who you think doesn't exist for some reason, Fisty Glueman on Twitter. He just says he was just talking about Mantic Open Day. He said there was an amazing Mars Attack robot, but he wasn't able to take pictures of it. And so yeah, Fisty Glueman's talking to us. How is a fictional character talking to us, Jack?
It's the internet. I don't trust. Don't trust. It's an FBI
he exists.
agent.
He exists.
Fisty Glueman's going to let you know that he's only 13, but if you come over, bring some beers and some condoms, and
please stop this allegory, please.
Okay.
And yeah, so thank you, Fisty. We're glad you took a lot of great pictures.
Yeah.
And on to our next commercial. That's what everybody's been waiting for.
What's coming after this commercial? I'm interested. What can the fans wait with bated breath to hear?
I don't know. Maybe a battle report?
We're doing a battle report after this commercial. Come on back.
No, really.
Please, come on back.
Vinland Old Time Radio.
It is to laugh.
Astro!
Ahoy there, Dirigible. Help a fellow Empire citizen out with you.
It's a Gavo, a haunted Gavo.
Have you read The King in Yellow?
Hello, William.
I made the koala burgers.
So what's new?
Are you insane?
That better be a rhetorical question. And yes.
For far too long.
I once knew a Spaniard in Tarragona who spoke in gibberish like you.
Up, and escape!
That was terrible.
I should be a god, and instead I'm stuck down here like a worm.
She would tell me such wonderful stories.
Dr. Deja Vu will return.
Africa's a continent?
It's with great protest.
Sorry, Georgie Pudding.
Ooh, now that's some fine programming.
VinlandOldTimeRadio.podbean.com.
And we're back from a break. And in that break, what happened, Jack?
We played a game of Deadzone.
It was a long commercial, it seemed.
Yes, while you were enjoying the dulcet tones of our voices telling you things that you should do.
We had about 4 drinks and...
4? I've been chugging beers like a madman. Midway through that game, I was thinking, you know what? Slow your roll, because just because it's a long weekend, handle your high.
So, yeah, we had a battle report. I played Enforcers, you played Play, classic.
Yes, classic.
My Enforcers, I had Enforcer Captain, 2 regular Enforcers, an Assault Enforcer, Sniper, and Recon.
Not to step on your... we did play with 100-point armies.
Yes, 100-point armies, which I think from now on we'll play with 100-point armies. 70 is not enough. And what did you have in your army?
My army consisted of 1 Type 3 General.
Why he uses a Type 3 General? God knows.
Okay. I had a Type 3 General. Then I had 10 Hellhounds, the Plague Dogs.
Actually, there are Hellhounds.
Then I had a Plague Swarm, and then 2 Type 1As.
Yeah.
And that was I think of my dream team.
I think you just got to tweak it slightly.
Yeah, because I didn't
maybe
win.
take some.
I don't want spoiler.
Yeah,
alert.
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Didn't win.
You didn't.
I win very rarely, and this is not one of those times I win.
But you didn't win not because your units weren't effective. You just didn't win because I got lucky with my card.
Well, But
anyways, yes, we'll say what card. Might as well right off the bat. We'll say what cards we had. I had a Purge. It was called. And it was
your mission card.
Yeah, mission card. So based on points, based on unit cost, I got points for victory. And you had...
I had Infiltrate.
Which he could have won easily because he had Plague Dogs, and they could have ran right off the board. He decided not to do that because he didn't want to win. See? You people think that Jack doesn't want to win. Jack could have won that game easily. In the first, I'd say second round. No, third round it would take you.
He had positioned himself. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but you did win Friend for setup.
So I started the fight.
And your small squad of Enforcers were kind of on the right-hand side of the board.
Yeah, I kept them together in kill teams. I didn't spread myself apart. Which is a mistake, because obviously you could have won the game.
His platoon was kind of off to the right, whereas I looked, and for a brief second, sometimes I'm a very small, petty man.
I would have done it.
Guaranteed. Okay.
Because I would have laughed my ass off. I would have been like, we would have played another game after that, because it would have been over in the third round. Not even second round, probably.
But I would have positioned all of my plague dogs, 10 plague dogs on the left-hand side. They had because they're fast, they would have sprinted across. We were playing the short.
Well, it's the same difference.
Like we were coming from.
So they had to move 8 squares, so it would take them 3 rounds. So me moving 3 rounds over to try to stop you, and going like, why are you sending those guys?
A couple move cards, a couple generals,
and just put your big guys in the middle to stop me from moving over.
Give you ample targets, but I opted to not.
Yeah, he actually played the game like he was trying to kill me, and he nearly did.
And I was trying to kill you.
At the end, I had 2 enforcers who just stayed on a tower, so they're away from everybody, and my general left. That was it.
This is the premier, the virginal usage of a plague swarm. So that was premier in my mind. That I wanted to kill a sniper,
and he did awesome. The plague swarm, he killed a lot.
Yeah,
he probably killed all of my models. Did he kill every single one? I think so. No, your dog got lucky one time and killed my first person.
But we did digress. So those were our armies. Those were our missions. We started out with a pretty solid.
You pretty much rushed all your dogs at me. I killed a few. I suppressed a few because I had my burst. I tried the burst laser this time, and halfway through the game, we realized burst laser is terrible. It's the same points as an enforcer, but he can only burst, and he gets +1 to blaze away. It's like, so what? I'd rather have not +1 and be able to fight. He gets a minus to fight, and he can't shoot regularly.
I would agree to disagree on that. In that he's same points. The fight is a minimum. He's very specific in his job, but against the plague, not so much. Against other units, he would have a benefit. You were pretty much poo-pooing him during the game.
You had 4 guys. The best that could happen was what happened. You had 4 dogs in 1 square. I suppressed it, knocked them all down, and then they just got back up and came and killed me.
Yeah, but literally, like, he would knock them down, they'd stand up. One guy was actually suppressed.
Yeah, at one point, yeah.
And then they'd stand up.
It didn't help you all guys who were enraged right off the bat, too.
Yeah, I started my army. I had nothing.
I had
no
matter.
Shooters. I came out
His
strong.
general just sat back and commanded, because he had 3 leaders in the group. He had, 7 command? No, he had more than that. 8 command points?
It was a lot. Long story short, he was doing his job. He suppressed 4 dogs and just kept them down for 2 rounds. I would say he's not useless. He's a specialist.
He's my plague 3.
He's a specialist. You're looking for a wide,
for that
more versatile, and there's nothing wrong with that. Having a very versatile thing. He's a specialist, but
enforcers already get a plus to blaze away, so it's not like it's much different, you know. So, but anyways, first round recon, he was able to shoot first round because he was way out front.
Take a mercenary to test another.
Well, we don't like to call them mercenaries. We like to call them heroes.
Because he is an enforcer.
Yeah. Anyways, he was scout, so he was able to go way out. So he shot Jack's Plague 1A first round, bloodied him, got a good shot in, bloodied him, and then the Plague moved up and somebody else killed him. I don't think was it Recon who ended up killing him too?
No, he didn't get.
He didn't get bloodied because we forgot he had armor.
Yeah,
and then he moved up and then we killed him.
Yeah, he just got his head capped like that.
Yeah, I think I did a really good roll and it just got lucky.
We had a lot of good rolls.
Yeah, there's one. I took a picture of one roll I did. It was like. I think I was rolling at 4 dice and I ended up with 8 successes or something stupid.
At one point, about 3/4 of the way through the game, I said, "You haven't not rolled an 8," and you were like, "Yeah."
And then after that, I rolled terrible.
There was exploding.
Actually, I rolled. We both rolled pretty crazy.
Yeah.
The one time I rolled like 1 success and I was like, "Okay, he's dead." Jack's rolling like 6 dice. He got like 1 success. We were like, "Oh."
It was a very chaotic.
It was even back and forth.
Enjoyable game.
Oh, let's just say we also tried out our initiative rule.
Yeah.
Which it was.
It worked out exactly the way Mantic had designed the game.
Yeah, because it never mattered, because it always ended up me going first. But there was a chance.
That pants-tightening joy that is the randomness.
Our rule, if you haven't heard it, is whoever has the least amount of miniatures gets 2 dice to roll. The other person gets 1. You have to roll under your command stat. So I had commands of 6, so I had to roll under that. So I had to roll 5 or under.
I had 4.
So we had to roll 3 or under. And if I got... And it ties go to me because I had lesser...
Tie goes to whoever went last.
Yeah, which is always me.
Which was always you, so...
And yeah, it worked out pretty fun.
Yeah. At no point did it change from the norm. The
no,
status quo was
but it gave you a chance to be like, I can win this.
But at some point, sphincters tightened.
And if I'd been using
baited.
And if I had been using a sergeant, it would have been much different.
I at one point I clutched my pearls.
Or if you
and he did use the fainting couch because it was that exciting.
I was verklempt.
So,
and also if you use one of your stage 1s as a general instead of the stage 3, you would have gotten 6 dice.
I don't know why you keep
6
trash talking my stage 3 general.
I just don't understand it. Why bother?
Because I like the miniature.
Yeah. Anyways, so I luckily killed one of his stage 1s early, so that saved me from getting my butt kicked, because his other stage 1 had to come from really far away.
Yeah.
So his last stage 1 only got 1 attack in the whole game.
Not knowing what his mission card was, although he didn't care what my mission card was.
Yeah.
He just positioned himself where he wanted to. He was all brazen. But not knowing what his mission card was, I put a stage 1A kind of at both ends, so if he rushed, there was going to be some resistance. There was going to be
your plague swarm was in the middle.
There was going to be a world of hurt wherever he decided to rush, thinking that he could infiltrate, but that wasn't the case.
And it was a really, really good fight. At first, I was just wiping things out, like as always, and thinking, oh, it's going to be easy, because I got that stage 1 and a dog right off the bat.
Like, first round, just like...
Yeah, if it was the second round, I was able to kill him. And then...
that's right.
Because the first round I tried. And then he got his dogs onto me, which distracted me long enough for his plague swarm to get onto me, which distracted him long enough for the stage 1 to get onto me. And it looked very bad.
Yeah.
But luckily my card was, I killed that stage 1, so it was worth 3 points. And then I killed 6 dogs, so I was up to 9 points. And I picked up the intelligence was worth 1 point, so I just had to last that round, end of that round. Jack sent his plague 1 after my general. And my general lived, but it didn't matter in the end. And he sent his plague swarm, jumped up to kill the guy who had the intelligence. So if he had dropped the intelligence, I wouldn't have won. But I rolled amazing. The problem was
he started counting. He was like, I got this, and this. He stood doing math, and that's when there's a penny that dropped.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh my god. He looked at the intel chip in his hand.
Yeah. I was like, I declared that I was winning, and I just had to last that round.
Yeah, and then I was like, uh-oh. I thought he was just having to kill my guys, and now that chip threw a wrench.
I had to kill one more guy, and I couldn't kill a dog to save my life. There's 3 dogs that were bloodied all around my general. We couldn't kill any of them.
There was a wrench in the monkey works, that chip in his goddamn hands. So yeah. I was like, okay, well...
So he jumped his swarm up on top of the tower, because his swarm has agility, so he went right up on top of my 2 guys.
They slithered those centipede legs.
And if he had killed my one guy, Face, the guy I like to call Face because he's got a mask up, if he had killed him, he would have dropped the intelligence, my other guy would have picked it up, and then the plague swarm would have had to try to kill him the next round.
It would have bought me another round if he had to kill them.
But it didn't happen. And my guys were done. Like, the plague one got lucky, or I got lucky that the plague one didn't kill me that first round.
You rolled, that's the picture he had mentioned earlier of it was his general's defense against my plague one tearing his head off. And it was a spectacular roll.
Yeah. So I ended up with no damage there, and then then my one enforcer survived against the plague swarm, and that was it. But I had 3 guys left, 2 of which were going to die against the plague swarm, and probably my general and your. That's the thing. Once the plague gets on top of the enforcers, you control the game. I tried to break away. My sniper got killed.
Yeah, your sniper tried to run, and he was chewed to death.
My burst laser did get away, but then he got into another fight. Like it was once they're on top, especially the dogs are so fast. Once they're on top of you, you can't get away from them.
And as long as they hold you. It took forever for my Type 1A to get there.
He was far away from the board, but yeah, like I said, if you switched out like one of your Type 1s and some of your dogs, or your third general...
Don't talk about my dogs. There's going to be 10 dogs every time.
Then you take out one of your... I bet if you took out your Plague 1, one of your Plagues, and take out your general, you could afford Terraton.
Probably.
And that Terraton being fast, plus this Plague Swarm's got agility, that'd be tough for me. Because if you could have gotten to me faster, I would have killed a lot less, and then I wouldn't have won.
Yeah.
Because once you got to me, I was dead. Like, my guys are 6+, or I think it was 5+. No, it was 6+, I think, to fight. So once we're in hand-to-hand, even my enforcer... I took an enforcer... Assault Enforcer, thinking that he could stand in hand-to-hand. Once again, he's got the same stats in hand-to-hand as, like...
You're mercenary. don't discredit the fact that I had dogs chewing on his limbs.
That was Recon. Recon and one dog fought back and forth for a couple rounds.
And we every time that he'd kill a dog, I'd move another one in.
Yeah.
And he was bloodied.
I just had to. I should have been able to kill more faster. That's the problem.
No,
my sniper. I think maybe it was my sniper that killed your Plague One. I think it was. Not Recon. I think it was my sniper.
Yeah.
Because my sniper only got one shot off, and I think he killed your Plague One.
But either way, I called it pretty early that this was the best game we've ever played.
It was definitely back and forth, and
it was back and forth.
And I shouldn't have won. I just got lucky, and you should have. We're ignoring the fact that Jack could have won the game in the first round.
Maybe not first round.
No, it would have been third round.
Third round, but even then, if you had capped some guys, it would have been. But at some point, you would have seen dogs running off the edge and went,
But if you had played it right, I would have thought they were running around to come at me. That's...
Yeah, but...
Because you never expect... Infiltrate's the one you never expect. Because I beat you with Infiltrate one time, you're like... I was just with the Marauders, remember? I was just walking over, you thinking...
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I just went pop, 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 everybody off the side. You're like, oh...
Much like the Spanish Inquisition, I was caught unawares. But
yeah.
It was a good game. It was the kind of game you hope you can play. When you're playing game.
Both of us were like, oh, and then neither of us got butthurt about anything because it was just...
It was back and forth at the dice. At no point, David, was I bitching.
It's true. It was really good because it was exactly how both teams should play.
Yeah.
It just, my card happened to be the right one for me to win. Otherwise, you would have wiped me out easy, in 2 rounds at least.
Maybe 2 or 3 rounds, I would have wiped you out.
Yeah, because once my enforcers can't shoot, I'm in trouble.
And it took that long to get a Type A1 into position. Yeah. I had the Plague Swarm in position. And the guys on the tower...
If it had been my sniper in that tower, that would have been a much different game.
I had 4... I think 4 or 5 dogs maybe left. 4, at least 4.
I think you had 5.
Were charging up into that tower.
No, 4. One. I think you had 4. Yeah, 4 or 5.
Either way, the tower would not have been a bit like a.
No, you had your Plague Swarm. Once your Plague Swarm was up there, he would eventually kill them.
Yeah, but those guys weren't gonna be active like that.
But if my sniper had been in that tower right off the bat, he would start taking people out. Even in groups and stuff.
Yeah. Even
my enforcers. Remember, you shot that one dog that was in that group. You got a really lucky roll and killed a dog while he was fighting somebody.
Yes,
that was a good shot.
He had fired into a square that had his own units in it, so he had a penalty.
But then I had a clear shot because the dog was right in front of me. We were just shooting across a little opening. I was in the tower and he was.
But it was very fortuitous. That's the thing. It was
a good roll. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
What about the frag grenade? That was hilarious.
Dude,
I almost killed my whole army with one grenade.
Do tell our listening audience when you almost ended the game through your own hubris tossing a frag grenade.
He had 4 dogs in a square that were all suppressed. They were on the ground. I threw a frag grenade. My assault enforcer had a frag grenade. I gave it to him. He threw it into that square. He missed. He came into the square between that. There was a big fight going on top of a building. You'll see the pictures. There's a big fight going on top. Plus my enforcer captain was there. And the frag grenade went off, but I think everybody except for your 2 dogs made saves, and they were only pinned.
But it could have been a catastrophe.
If all my guys had been pinned, I would have lost, because that was the very first thing I did in that round, too. So I would have lost all my turns just standing all back up.
The rest of his turn, because he got initiative every round, would have been standing up.
It was my hubris, you're right. It was hubris that I was like, I'll just kill these dogs with this grenade.
He did that thing where he grabs the pin with his teeth and pulls it out. And stands up and just like a propaganda poster from
Soviet propaganda.
Yeah, Soviet propaganda poster where he's got the grenade aloft, looking up at the stars that are his to take at his will, and he threw it in there and it missed, went right into where his own guys were, and could have been a disaster.
Yeah, everybody made their saves except for 2 dogs. Saves. 2 dogs were pinned, because they made their saves, but they didn't double.
But that could have ended the game.
Well, right I think also because I remember once I rolled badly, I was like. To roll to hit, not to hit, to roll to damage, I was like, please get no successes. And I got 1 success. I got really lucky. It was low. So everybody was able to succeed.
With that being said, anyone who craps on the fact that there's exploding 8s in this game doesn't understand.
Oh, it changes everything. Yeah.
Doesn't understand.
How many times were we like, I have no chance. Oh, look, an 8. And you're like, holy crap.
Exactly. And some of those rolls were like, oh, this frag grenade's going to go off and I'm dead.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, no.
You got enough 8s to survive it, or...
The exploding 8s is integral, I would say, to the way this game plays. And anyone who doesn't understand that probably doesn't play. Is either too into the rules.
And you wouldn't think you'd get that many 8s, but we roll 8s all
you
the time.
Like I said, you rolled an 8 every time.
And you rolled quite a few. I remember that one time, you were like 8. 8. And we're like, what?
It was like 4 8s in a row.
And it ended up doing no damage because it was like against some
was...
armor guy. It was a dog against armor, so it was like nothing.
And at some point, I literally said, hey, come on, is there a gimme here? Because I got so many 8s. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think after a certain amount of 8s, your guy automatically dies from like a brain hemorrhage.
Oh, I didn't know that rule.
Your head just explodes
You're
because you're like, I'm too powerful.
I'm too good for this world. I'm too beautiful for this tainted world.
I'm going to a better place.
I'm going to heaven. See his bitches. Yeah.
It was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. And as far as gameplay, we didn't come into any kind of...
For one, I think this is the first time we even come up against something we're like, oh, that didn't work right, or we didn't like that.
Or what's the rule, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we
were making up rules, because both of us were like confusing it with Dust for some reason.
Yeah, I'm going to guess because I was chugging beers like a crazy person, and you're drinking whiskey,
us,
so...
All of a sudden we're like, that guy can't make that corner because he's a mech. There's no mechs in this game, Rob.
You were concerned that my Type 1A was
couldn't cut a corner.
mech, and B couldn't go on a diagonal around a building, which is a Dust rule. So
I can't remember what you were.
I questioned something else.
Something you're like, no, that was a Dust rule.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was now.
Which we haven't played Dust in probably 6 months.
Yeah, at least. I think it's
probably
6 months. Probably almost 6 months.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Actually, knowing that, because we've had Deadzone for probably 6 months. So ever since we have had Deadzone, we haven't played Dust. That's for sure.
Well, long story short, we've been drinking. It's a long weekend. Hope this is
coherent. Doesn't just sound like chaos.
Good.
Thanks to all our friends on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good positive feedback in real time. It's
nice to get interactions.
Yeah, because I'm a bit of a hermit. I'm a stodgy old man,
and I don't like to talk to people in person. I don't mind talking to them on social medias, but
so like I don't understand. This guy put out a Twitter announcement that said we're going to be doing a podcast, and people were like replying. It was astounding. So I just want to say thank you for both your emails, your Twitter, everything. We've had such a positive, good response to this podcast.
Thanks a lot. That's what makes this worthwhile. Really.
Yeah, it's jazzing us. Really, it really is.
Good times.
It really. And speaking of which, we're going to be at a game convention.
Oh yeah. Yep. If Queen City Con in Buffalo, New York, across the border from us.
Yeah, we're gonna make a trip. We're gonna go out.
We're gonna go that 10 minutes across the border.
We've never been. We don't know what it is.
We've never been to Buffalo.
No,
we've been to UBCon in our youth. We used to go to UBCon. That's a spring convention. This convention I think is going to be going for about 4 years. And it seems like it's going to be fun. Yeah, so if anybody's in the Buffalo area in September 19th to 21st, come on down. Buffalo Niagara Convention Center.
We were thinking about getting out the board and making a Deadzone thing, but we've never been. We don't know.
We also don't like people.
Maybe next year.
But anyways, come see us. If you see, you don't know what we look like, but if you see a tall, gray-haired guy who's really mean-looking, that's probably Jack. If you see a slightly shorter, red-haired guy who's jolly but scowling, that's probably Rob.
Yeah. Or look for the Vinland Old Time Radio t-shirt.
Yeah, maybe we'll wear some t-shirts.
Yeah, we'll be wearing the Vinland Old Time Radio t-shirt. So, yeah.
I doubt there's many in the Buffalo area. We're not like living in the mecca of Mantic that is Ohio.
No, we've got a lot of responses from...
Or Sweden. We're not living in Sweden.
Or Sweden. Both Milke and...
David.
Milke and David were from Sweden, so like...
Yeah, or England, where most of the other people are from.
Yeah, but if you are in the Buffalo area,
come on down.
See us. We'll
Queen
be
City
hanging
Con.
out. Yeah.
Anyways, it's been good.
Yeah, that was a good game. I enjoyed it. It's the way the game should be played. It's the way the game is best. It was a thoroughly enjoyable game. I've got quite the deficit in my ledgers for wins, but I will scrub that clean and just revel in the fact that was a fantastic...
Yeah, it didn't really matter who won or lost.
It was a fantastic game.
But, good game.
Which
good
is
times.
a tribute to the rules.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the game itself. So, it's been another Deadzone, the podcast.
The Deadzone podcast. This was number 16.
Yep, 16. It's lucky number 16. It's my favorite number.
Oh, mine's 3. So
you missed that a long time ago.
I failed to monopolize on that.
Well.
I should have screamed to the heavens.
So we've rambled on long enough.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Wintergreen, take us out. Bye!
Here is your host, Rob, to tell you how to contact us. Here, at the Deadzone Podcast.
Thank you, Wintergreen. You can listen to us on our website, deadzonegame.podbean.com. You can email us at deadzonepodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Twitter at deadzonepodcast. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Join us next time for some more of the Deadzone Podcast.
You think this is funny? Oh, you don't?
Oh.
Then maybe you'll find Vinland Old Time Radio more